प्रवृत्तिश्च निवृत्तिश्च नियतः शाश्वतो ध्रुवः श्मशानवासी भगवान् कचरो गोचरोर्धनः. Pravrittischa. Pravritti means engaging in some kind of karmic activity. Nivritti means the Nivritti Marga, that is taking up sannyas. So you are that ultimate object to be attained who are for people who are in the Pravritti Marga and Nivritti Marga. And Niyatah means the one who has beyond the senses. Achintyam. Achintyam avyaktam ananta rupam. Shivam prashantam amritam brahmayonim tam adi madhya anta vihinamekam vibhum chidananda rupam arupam adbhutam umasahayam parameshwaram prabham trilochanam neelakantam prashantam yatva munargacchadi bhutayonim samasta saksham tamasak parastad. Achintyam, one who is beyond, the human mind or senses, one who cannot be conceived by Sankhya, analytical study, one who cannot be conceived by ahankara, ego, only by unflinching devotion, only by true surrender. Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyana, Yoga, the way he has the same Upanishad states. Shraddha by unflinching faith and having devotion to Mahadeva, and Dhyana by meditating on the form of Parashakti and Paramashiva and having a proper guru. Tad Vijnanartham sa Gurumeva Bigachet Samitpanihi Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. By surrendering to a guru who is in Shivanishta and also who has mastered the Vedas and Upanishads, Mundaka Upanishad states. Shweta Shvetar also states Yasya Deve Parabhaktihi Yata Deve Tata Gurau. So Guru is important to attain Lord Shiva. And then Shashvato. So Shashvata again it verily connects with the first name that we saw, Sthiraha. Sthiraha means perennial, one who is eternal, everlasting. Nothing was purvam to Mahadeva. Everybody are bound by birth or death. Like Brahma, Narayana or Indra, they are bound by birth or old age or disease or death. But Mahadeva alone transcends all these things. He is beyond the three modes of material nature. He is beyond Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. He is beyond birth, old age, disease and death. And he is beyond Karma, Anava and Mala. So he is eternal, Shashvata. Connects with Sthira. Dhruvaha, again this connects with Sthanu. Sthanu means immovable. We saw that. The second name of Shiva in the second name of Lord Shiva in the Shiva Sahasranama. So Dhruva is actually the 26th name, which means stable. He is immovable. He appeared as Achala, Arunachala, to destroy the ego of Brahma and Narayana. And this word is interesting. Smashana Vasi. It's highly misinterpreted by many people. So means that he is actually, the one who resides in the cremation ground. So in the cremation ground, to understand this properly, we saw that Pancha Brahma Upanishad stating Pancha Krityeni Yantaram Pancha Brahmatmakam Brigat Pancha Brahmopa Samharam Kritva Swatmani Samstitaha. After engaging in 5 activities, he alone, at the time of deluge, at the time of destruction, it is Mahadeva who alone is present and nobody else. There is nothing apart from Mahadeva. And of course, Parashakti is a very beautiful verse in Saundarya Lagari. 24th verse of Saundarya Lagari says, Jagat Sute Data Hariravati Rudraha Kshapayate Tiras Kurvan Etat Swayamapi Vapurishas Tirayati Sada Purvak Sarvam Tadidam Anugrhnati Cha Shiva Stavagnya Malambya Kshana Chalitayo Brulatikayoho. Oh Mata, just by the movement of your eyebrows, crores and crores of Brahmas and Vishnus and Indras come by. It is only you and Paramashiva. This entire universe is the sport of Parashakti and Paramashiva. So at the time of destruction, it's only Mahadeva who is present, and everything goes to ashes. Smashanam, everything becomes ash. That's why we apply the ash on the body. The reason we apply the ash on the body is that one day I am going to become into ash. So Mahadeva alone is eternal. There is an imperishable, and he alone is the ultimate object of meditation. In order to remind that only, we apply the ash on 32 parts of the body. Makuta Agamam describes. So like that, so like the universe actually, when everything goes into Mahadeva and Parashakti alone exist, everything is actually a cremation ground. So that's the true understanding of this Smashanavasi name that comes in the Shiva Sahasranama. Not that he physically, because some Avaidika Mudas, what they do is actually they say, oh, Shiva actually spends time in the cremation ground. Because when everything goes to destruction, it's only Mahadeva who is present, and Parashakti, Mahadeva and Parashakti are alone present. At that time, everything has been destroyed, and that is actually that cremation ground. And then he again starts to create the universe to give, and then he enters their body as Antara, in the form of Linga, and he enters in the body of the Jivas and becomes their Antaratma, and then makes them to engage in karma so that they can attain him in course of time. So again he creates, so that he's the ruler of. So that's the understanding of Smashanavasi. Bhagavan. So Bhagavan comes 35 times in the Atharvashira Upanishad for Lord Shiva. Yo vai Rudraksa Bhagavan Yaccha Brahma Tasmai vai Namo Namaha. Yo vai Rudraksa Bhagavan Yaccha Vishnus Tasmai vai Namo Namaha. Yo vai Rudraksa Bhagavan Yaccha Skandas Tasmai vai Namo Namaha. Yo vai Rudraksa Bhagavan Yaccha Indras Tasmai vai Namo Namaha. It goes on to say he is Bhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, he is Indra, Agni, Varuna, Brahma, Vishnu, Skanda, everything. And he is that Bhagavan. 35 times it comes. Even Shvetashvatara Upanishad uses the word Bhagavan 2 times. Sarvavyapi sa Bhagavan tasmat sarvagatak Shivaha. Comes in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. And very interestingly in Rudram it comes. So in the first Anuvakam, it starts off by saying Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. It says Bhagavan, O Bhagavan, Mahadeva, Samba Shiva, Rudra. And then Yaschate Hastayisha Bhakparata Bhagavo Vapa. The first Anuvakam, 10th verse in the first Anuvakam says Bhagavo Vapa, O Mahadeva, the Supreme Lord. Namaste Astu Bhagavan Vishveshwaraya. Bhagavan, O Bhagavan Mahadeva Vishveshwara. 10th Anuvakam, 11th verse. Vikiri Davilohita Namaste Astu Bhagavaha. And then again the next verse. Sagasrani Sagasradaba Huvostava Hetayaha Tasami Shano Bhagavak Parachina Mukhakridi. And then Ayam me Hasto Bhagavan Ayam me Bhagavattaraha Ayam me Vishvabe Shajo Yagam Shiva Vimarshanaha. Finally, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Vishnave Mrutyurme Pahi. So how many times totally? 8 times it comes in the Rudram. For Lord Shiva, the word Bhagavan comes 8 times. So sometimes, the Namaste Astu Bhagavan words actually doesn't come in the Vedas. So even excluding that, if you see 7 times it comes in the Rudram for Lord Shiva. So 45 times in total it comes in the Vedas and Upanishads. And is there any other personality who is referred in the Vedas and Upanishads as Bhagavan? No, not Brahma or not Vishnu or not Indra. So he is that ultimate Bhagavan. And I think we saw this in the previous class. I also want to bring that point. Markandeya, he goes and asks Vishnu in Narada Puranam, Purva Bhagam, 1st canto, 4th chapter. He asks, what are the characteristics of a Bhagavata, O Narayana? And then Vishnu replies, Yecha Vedartha Vaktaras Tevai Bhagavatottamaha Shiva Priyak Shiva Saktak Shiva Padarchane Rataha Tripundradarine Tripundradarino Yecha Tevai Bhagavatottamaha Vyaharanti cha namani Harek Shambor Mahatmanaha Rudraksha Lankrita Yecha Tevai Bhagavatottamaha. He says, the one who worships Shiva Priya, the one who is actually dear to Mahadeva, is actually a Bhagavata. And the one who worships the feet, Shiva Padarchane, the one who worships the feet, because that feet is being searched even by Brahma and Vishnu. Even Brahma and Vishnu are still searching for the feet of Mahadeva. And that's why whenever a boon is given to Vishnu by Lord Shiva, Vishnu asks for, that feet of yours, O Mahadeva, I should never leave that. I always want to place that on my head. I always want to serve that feet of yours. I should never leave your feet. That's the boon he asks for. Because Brahma and Vishnu went in search of that feet only. Brahma went in search of the beginning and Vishnu went in search of the end. So Shiva Padarchane, he says, Vishnu says, the one who worships the feet of Mahadeva is actually a Bhagavata. The one who wears the Tripundra, the three lines. The three lines, if you apply the three lines on the forehead, it fills your forehead. Tripundra Dharino. So I think I'll be consuming a lot of time, but it reminds me of another interesting thing. In the Devi Bhagavatam 11th canto, 12th chapter, Narayana says to Narada that the Creator has created the forehead like this to apply the holy ash. Not for applying any other mark, told by Vishnu himself. If you want to apply any perpendicular mark, Urdhva Pundra, your forehead would have been perpendicular. But it is not vertical, it is actually horizontal, slanting. So when you dip the three middle fingers into the bhasma and then apply that on your forehead, it fills your forehead. And that's why this forehead has been created like this by the Creator to apply the sacred ash. Oh Narada, he says that. So here also he says to Markandeya, Tripundra Dharino Yecha Tevai Bhagavatottamaha. The one who wears the Tripundra on the forehead is a Bhagavata. The one who chants the names of Shiva, Shivanama Sankirtanam, Shiva, Hara, Shambhu, Ishana, Mahadeva, Rudra, Kala, Kalakala, Mahakala, Shiva Sahasranama, Shiva Ashtottaram, Shiva Rudranama Trishati, Shatarudriyam. The one who chants the names of Lord Shiva is actually a Bhagavata. The one who wears the Rudraksha is actually a Bhagavata. Verses 67 to 69, first canto, Narada Puranam, Purva Bhagam, fourth chapter. So that's about Bhagavan. So the word Bhagavan is only applied to Mahadeva. So that's why he is called as Bhagavan. Smashanavasi Bhagavan. Kacharo Gocharodhanaha. Kacharo, that means one who travels in the sky. So this name is also very interesting. I want to talk a little bit on this. So Kacharo, one who travels in the sky. So there are many things that we can relate this to. In Linga Puranam, Vishnu, when he does intense penance and he has the vision of Parashakti and Paramashiva, he asks, Oh Mahadeva, if there is a boon that you have to give me the boon where I will be your eternal vehicle. I will have to become the vehicle for you. I'll have to be your eternal vehicle. And then Mahadeva says Tatastu. So Mahadeva Vishnu becomes the clouds. The clouds is he becomes the clouds, and then Mahadeva rides. He uses the clouds as his vehicle. So that's why he is called as, Mahadeva is called as Jimuta Vahana. Jimuta Vahana. Jimuta is actually the clouds, that is Vishnu, and Vahana. So Vishnu is his Vahana. In the Tripura Samharam also, Vishnu appears. Vishnu comes as bull and serves Mahadeva by becoming his vehicle. So Jimuta Vahana, Vamana Puranam, first canto, 6th chapter, 78th verse, glorifies Lord Shiva as he is called as Jimuta Vahana, the one who is the rider on the clouds. So that's one thing. And the second thing is interesting, who travels in the sky, right? So Kacharo. So we have seen this again in the previous classes of Upamanyu Maharshi. Neelatoyada madhyastad vidyullekeva basvara nivara shukavaktanvi pitaba aspatyanupama. The Suktam in the Mahanarayana Upanishad, it describes the heart of Vishnu or Narayana, how Mahadeva is present. So we saw that Adonishtyavadasyante nabhyamu pratishthati, who is present. Mahadeva is present in the heart of all the living entities and also in the heart of Brahma and Narayana. Where is he present? Below the larynx, that is below the neck and above the navel. So how is he present? Jwalamala kulambati vishwasya yatanam mahat. Jwalamala. He appeared as Jwalagni, Agni Stamba, sparks, crores and crores of sparks of fire were emanating from that Agni Stamba, his Arupatva, his Arupa aspect. His Vibhutva, his infiniteness was exhibited. Mahadeva, the formed Mahadeva exhibited his infiniteness in front of Brahma and Vishnu, Jwalamala. So that's how he is also present in the heart. Vishwasyayatanam mahat. Vishwasya ayatanam, who is the support of the entire universe. Santatakam shilabistulam bhatya kosha sannibam. And then it goes on to say Nilato yatamadhyastad. So the experience when Krishna had the vision of Mahadeva, when he took the advice of Upamanyu Maharshi, and then he took Shiva Diksha from Upamanyu Maharshi, and then he went to do intense penance. After 6 months, he had the vision of Mahadeva. But Krishna describes, when experiencing that Parashakti and Paramashiva in front of me, it was like Nilato yadamadhyastad vidyullekeva bhasvara. It was like actually experiencing the white lightning in the midst of blue clouds. Mahadevi Parashakti is described as sometimes blue complexioned. Matsya Puranam describes her as actually having the complexion of blue lotus. So in that midst of blue clouds, when Parashakti and Paramashiva were actually, when Parashakti was sitting in the left lap of Paramashiva, it was like Nilato yadamadhyastad vidyullekeva bhasvara. It actually the white lightning, experiencing the white lightning in the midst of blue clouds. Because Mahadeva is camphor white in color. Shuddha spatika sankasham trinetram panchavaktarakam. So that's how he is described. So that's what the Upanishad also describes. Nilato Upamanyu. So this was experienced by Krishna, and also we saw Upamanyu Maharshi also had the same experience. When he was about to have the vision of Mahadeva, it was like actually experiencing the white lightning in the midst of blue clouds. And that is what is, we have to connect this with the Vedantic import, which says Nilato yadamadhyastad vidyulleke babasvara nivara shukavatnan vibitaba asvatyanupamam dasya shikaya madhye parama atma vyavastitah sabrahma sashivas saharisendras soksharak paramak swarat hridakam satyam param brahma purusham krishna pingalam urdvaretam virupaksham Vishwarupam namamyaham. So, Nilato yadamadhyastad. So, when in the heart of Narayana, Mahadeva and Parashakti are present, and it is like actually the white lightning, Bhasvara, the white lightning it is like experiencing the white lightning in the midst of blue clouds. So, that's how he is described in the heart of all the living entities, and also in the heart of the Devas like Brahma and Narayana. And then in the middle is actually Paramatma, and the Paramatma's form is beautifully described. Hridakam Satyam Param Brahma Purusham. So why I mentioned this is that here Kacharo, the word Kacharo means one who travels in the sky. So one who is actually eternally with Parashakti, and one who is pervading Parashakti. That's what actually we can interpret in that way. So Kacharo means travels in the sky. So Nilato yadamadhyastad vidyullekeva bhasvara. The white lightning that you see in the midst of blue clouds, that white lightning is Paramashiva and the blue clouds are Parashakti. So he is actually, that white lightning comes in the clouds. It appears in the clouds only, right? So he is like the traveler in the sky. So one who is very dear to Parashakti, so we can interpret in that way. So that's the thing, that's the connection. And then last two names for this day. Gocharo Danaha. So Gocharo, one who can be felt by, meditating senses actually. So like one has to completely restrain all the senses and meditate on Mahadeva. That's how he can be really felt. That's how you can get the realization of Lord Shiva. Gocharo. Ardhanaha. Ardhanaha means actually one who, one who is actually an enemy. Mahadeva is described as an enemy to the bad people. To the other me's, he is described as an enemy. So this also comes in the Rudram. So one who actually, if one is trying to disturb the devotees of Mahadeva, Mahadeva becomes their enemy. So that's what actually is here. It's described one who catches actually the bad people. One who is an enemy to the other me's. So with that said, so let's take up some more names tomorrow, and then continue again with the episode of Upamanyu Maharshi on next Saturday. So tomorrow there will be again a class. So just letting you know. So So I'll chant the Kshama Prarthana mantra and then we can take up some questions. Om Yadaksharappadabhrishtam matrahinam tiyad bhavet tatsarvam kshamyatam deva parameshvara namostute visarga bindu matrani padapadaksharaani cha nyunani cha tiriktani kshamasva parameshvara aparata sagasrani kriyante harnisham maya daso yamiti mam matva kshamasva parameshvara अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रक्ष परमेश्वरे अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रक्ष परमेश्वर एतत् सर्वं श्री उमामहेश्वर परब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु ललिताम्बिके साम्बशिवार्पणमस्तु श्रीमती गौरी समेत साम्बशिवार्पणमस्तु करचरणकृतं वाक्कायजं कर्मजं वा श्रवणनयनजं वा मानसं वा अपराधं विहितम् अभिहितं वा सर्वम् एतत् क्षमस्व जय जय करुणा अब्दे श्री महादेव शम्भो माता च पार्वती देवी पिता देवो महेश्वर बन्धवा शिवभक्तांश्च स्वदेशो भुवनत्रयं साम्ब शिवाय नमः साम्ब शिवाय नमः साम्ब शिवाय नमः हर ओं तत्सत्